In this video, we're going to create something we might not necessarily want, which is a micromanager. A manager who is going to stick on us like a glue to a Post-it note and ask us, are we done yet? Have we done this task? We have task lists and we might keep notes and tasks and projects in Google Sheets, but I wanted to show you how I might go about doing this, and you might not necessarily like it, but you're going to learn an important lesson of how to send an email reminder in this video and how to set it for an hourly trigger. So what we're going to end up doing is we have 8 things we want to do here. We have tasks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we want to get those done in a day. So we want to put in 8 hours of work and get each one of these done in 1 hour of work, ideally, right? And then this is just this creative situation here. We're going to create, but we don't want to have to come back to this each and every moment and be like, click on this. What we're going to do is we're going to send ourselves an email reminder, because some of us have our inbox open and our email open all the time. And we can, I don't know if you've done this as well, but I sometimes live in my inbox. I live in my email, and the top thing, the most recent email is the one that I'm going to be working on. So this task list we might create, and then we want to make sure, have we done that first one, and get an email reminder and says, hey, do it. And if it's checked, the next one. So there's going to be a few things here that we have to do. One, we have to send an email. We have to send an email hourly trigger. We also only want to do it if there are blank or unchecked things. So if we have all of these checkboxes checked, we don't want to get an email. We've done our work for that day. We want to only get one item at a time in our inbox. So that email should be based on this task. So we're going to grab the information that's here, this task, whichever the first one is that's not checked, we're going to send that hourly and be like, have you done this yet? Have you done this yet? Have you done this yet? That is our micromanager. Are you done with it? Are you done with it? Are you done with it? And this is our roadmap, right? I'm going to double check this off camera, but we're going to send an email. We're going to create an hourly trigger to send that email. We're going to create an if when there are only blank ones. We're going to get the one item at a time. Oh, and we're going to get only the first unchecked item. And we want in our email the task itself, and perhaps a link to the sheet. Let's do that as well, because if for some reason we close this, if we don't keep this checklist in our as a tab, maybe we want to close it, work on that project and really focus, but we're going to leave our inbox open all the time and we get that reminder, right? Oh yeah, I got to go back to that sheet. We don't want to have to remember the sheet. We want to have a link to the sheet in our email. So this is everything we're going to do. We're going to walk through this all the way. So first things first is we're going to go over to AppScript and just start up AppScript. The email is actually one of the easiest parts of this. We're going to use mail app in our function. So we're going to just call send for example. You can label this anything you want. Actually, let's call it manage. All right, maybe that's a weird title. But the simplest thing we're going to do is this mail app dot send email. We have some options here. We are going to probably use, not the options here, one of these. They're all send email. You can send just one message. You can send, let's see, down, let's click this, with some, you have someone who it's sending to, someone who is the text that is the subject and text that is the body. We'll probably do that one. So we're going to, who's the recipient? We're going to call this variable REC. We're going to have a subject and we're going to have a body. And that's a pretty simple thing, right? Now we have to get our variables. Rec is going to be something, variable subject is probably going to be Micromanager, and we're going to think of something to put here, some variable text, but we'll get to that in a second. And the body will be, hey, are you working on this? And we'll add plus some variable we'll get there. We'll say current task. And maybe we'll say task subject here. We might change this. I don't know. 1 second. So I think we can get our own email. So we don't have to type in our email here. I think we're going to use session.getActiveUser.getEmail. And what this will do, and we can also log it if you really want to see it, but this will just get whoever is the user of the trigger. That should work. We'll save this right now, and we still need to get the task subject, but we also want to, before we go too far, we are sending an email now, so we can check that off the list. But we want to create an hourly trigger that this thing is going to send every hour. But I think what we want to do is do the if before that, just so that we send the correct information. So we'll do the trigger later. All right, let's see. What do we have? We have our checkboxes in B3 to B10 for right now. So we'll say variable tasks equals spreadsheet app dot get active spreadsheet, and we're going to rename this sheet 1 to tasks. You can rename it to anything you want, but we are doing this because we want to get sheet by name. We're going to write task. Let's double check the capitalization. No capitalization, all lowercase. Get range. And our range is going to be B3 colon B10. I do believe that was correct. B3 to B10. Yep. And we don't need just the range. We also need to get values, which actually gets us the actual values. We need the actual tasks. Actually, that's wrong. This is the tasks, the checkboxes, checks. And let's get the tasks. Oh, actually, we don't need them. We can deal with this together. So we do want to name this tasks, and we just want we want B3 and C to C10. This will get us this 2-column and all of these rows, B3 until C10, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So let's log that, actually, logger.log, so I can show you what that might look like. It'll be a little different than just getting the values of one row. Let's comment this out, mail app, and we're just going to log manage. Let's save it, and if we just hit run, let's save. We can probably comment out all this other stuff too. Let's see if that saves. Oh, I think we can save it. Now it should save. There, and let's run it. We should see the log here. We need to review permissions. Get these permissions allowed, and there we go. So now, see these falses here. We have our next to these tasks, and if we check off a few and run this again, the first few will be true, true. So the checkbox is just true or false, and then it'll have some text for the task. Great. And now let's just double check this session.getActiveUser. I'm not super familiar with it, but we can always log it and see what happens. There we go. It's correct. It's my email address. We want just some text here, whatever the task subject is. We do want the body, and we're not going to send the email just yet. We still have some work to do. So we need to get these values. We need to know, do we actually want to run the email? When we set this as a trigger, it's going to run, but we don't want it to run all the time. We want it to run if, let's see, 1 second. All right, so what we're doing now is we're going to create a checks array, and we're just going to create it from the first column of tasks. So we have B3 to C10. We're going to get everything here, but we're just going to get the checks, and then we're going to check, does it include false? And if it includes false, if there is one of those checkboxes that is false, we want to actually send the email. So what we did is here, we did variable checks equals is this blank array. We created a for loop here, I equals 0, I is less than task.length, and I iterates 1, plus 1 each time. We take the checks and we push to it whatever's in tasks I0 bracket notation. So the very first thing, all the true and falses. Then we're going to check variable check equals just is there a false. So this check is going to be either true or false. If there's a false, it is true. All right, now we're going to use if checks.includes, or actually we can do if check, and that's going to be true or false. So it is going to be false if there is no falses. If there is a false, it will be true, and so we will actually run this if. And now we can put all of this email. We only want to put this email in here. We only want to send the email if there is a false, if there's a blank thing. So we'll be able to keep checking this off, and the email will stop triggering. The trigger will trigger, but the email will not send if this is all checked off. Cool. So now we have that check. Great. We're going to, if blank or unchecked is done, we only want to get one item at a time, so we want to know which is the top unchecked task. Cool. So now we are going to use index of. So we're using the checks array we just built of all of the falses and trues, and we're going to just find the first false, because true we don't care about, right? We know if check there is a false somewhere, we need to find the first false. So we're going to use index of. Right now it is the first one. And this index, this first one, this first false, is going to be the one that we want to, we want to get the thing in the C column and use that. So let's use it. We're going to do variable first task, or top task. Actually, we should call this a top task. What is the current task? Oh, wait, I think we have it here. Current task is equal to tasks and then first and 1 in the bracket notation here. And so this current task should be the string in there. So let's log this, logger.log current task. And we're going to delete this log of first and see we don't need the tasks anymore. We don't need to know the recipient. So the only log we should get is that task. And we should get the string. Then do this. And that is this one. And if we check this off, now let's run this again. And it should be the next one. Then after that, do this. So we're getting the exact text that is the first true. Okay, so if it was like this, we're going to hopefully get, then do this. Perfect. So it's the first thing. It's the top of our list. Even if we have some other things checked off, we're still reminding ourselves, our micromanaging, hey, did you get this done? Let's go here. We have our current task. And we can say micromanager, or actually we can edit this text a little bit better. Instead of micromanager, hey, did you do this yet? And then we have the task subject, which actually is probably just going to be current task. It'll be in the subject, so we can see it right away. And in the body, we're just going to do almost exactly the same thing, except a little different text. Hey, are you working on this current task? What I do want to do, and one thing that's going to happen if we do not change it yet, is that it will thread if we want to use this text and it's the same task in another hour. It's the same exact text in that subject. Google or Gmail will usually thread that text, which might not be that great. We want to see, like, in our inbox a couple of them. Hey, we missed this? Oh, shit, we've been far behind or something, right? So let's add in the subject timestamp. The timestamp is going to be variable timestamp equals new date. But we want to format this because this is going to be very long and it's going to be very specific to our time zone. Let's just go do a little bit of a milliseconds or something here. We'll format this 1 second. And so here we've just added this utilities.format new date. I'm not exactly sure about this format because I do want to include the hours and minutes here. But let's double check that this is working correctly. We're going to get, hopefully in our inbox, an email now because we have tasks to do and we're going to get this then do this task. So 1 second. So let's send this, let's run it. Before we end up creating that trigger, let's just see if this actually runs and is in here. Perfect. Hey, did you do this? Then do this. And it's a little obscured because of this date and time. So let's fix that up a little bit. We want to add at least a space here. So we're going to add another plus sign and we're going to add at least a space. We might do more. Let's maybe do 2 spaces and a pipe, or a space and a pipe. Let's add 1 more space in front after, hey, did you do this yet? And let's change this. Hey, did you do this yet? Make it a little more managerial, or you do this yet? Make it a little less nice. Let's run this again. And again, we should have a different text here. There we go. Hey, you do this yet? Or maybe even more rude, or done yet? Then do this. And we have, that time is really still looks a little much, right? But it'll still be here. Oh, and we can also add a new line. Let's add a new line in here. I think we can do Shift N, is it? Nope. Oh, I think, it's actually N. There we go. That should work. Let's see. Yep, now we have it on a new line. Hey, are you working on this? Great. Now, last thing we need to do is our trigger. That's it. So we're only getting 1 item at a time. We're only getting the first unchecked item. Let's actually double check that before we move on much. But if we run it again, before lunch brunch, let's delete that. Before lunch brunch, there we go. That is the next item on our list. We get the last, we do need a link to the sheet. Let's make sure we have that in our text. Let's do a new line. We want actually 2 new lines. And then the link to the sheet. We can get the URL spreadsheet app dot get active spreadsheet get, I think it's just URL. Let's just see if that's it. Let's delete this. And there we go. We have a link to our spreadsheet, our Micromanager. right there, and it shows there. Awesome. That was easy, right? But let's do the trigger. I think this is going to be really easy to do the trigger, because now let's double check. We got all of our tasks in order. Now we need to do our hourly trigger. Okay, go over to triggers on the left side, hit triggers, wait for it to load. Underneath my face over here, click add trigger. We're going to choose the function where we only have one function right now. Choose which deployment, don't have to choose any deployment. We are not going to select the event source as from spreadsheet. We are going to change it to time driven, and it is already selected as an hour timer. So let's keep it at that and select our interval. It is every hour. We want our micromanager to be on our butts, and hit save, and that will start the trigger. And now every hour until we are done with our tasks, we are going to get our micromanager emailing us, and it'll be at the top of our inbox, this next task. Now, maybe you might want to create this trigger and uncreate the trigger or delete the trigger if in some other way. You can do that programmatically. I'm not going to go through that in this video. If you want to learn more about triggers, take Spreadsheet Automation 101. And if you want to see this kind of stuff done much more, take Spreadsheet Automation 101. I go from the ground zero, littlest, tiniest details, and in 3 hours, you get to send emails, and then actually within 3 hours, you get to send emails, and then you get to access an API, and so you can get information from outside spreadsheets into Google Sheets, and that goes far beyond this. But this I thought was a fun thing. Create a micromanager spreadsheet task list that'll just keep on our butts and in our inboxes. It'll keep this thing we want to do right at the top of our inbox every hour on the hour, and still remember which task we're working on or what we're working on next. And we can also change this if we actually come in here, click the checkoff box. It will automatically then go to the next one and start emailing us every hour. Hopefully this is fun for you and you got to see this app script. If you are a Better Sheets member and watching this on bettersheets.co, then you have access to this spreadsheet and you have access to this app script. Just watch the latest video from Better Sheets right here. If you haven't watched any other videos on Better Sheets, you are in for a treat. Enjoy.